Hi, good morning. Recently on social media, I read about a writer who was struggling to come up with a title for their novel. That's not an easy thing to do. It's a very good question to ask yourself, what should be the title of my novel? You don't want to get it wrong. Sometimes the title will draw readers in and will say a lot about the context of your story. It's wonderful if you can draw your title right out of your story itself. For example, To Kill a Mockingbird is a good example. Or the novel that I wrote, American Nomad. It's about an American family traveling in a Chevy Nomad station wagon across the United States. Kind of like nomads going from one land to another. It's wonderful if the title of your novel can reference different metaphors or ideas expressed in your novel. But that doesn't always happen, as you as a writer will know. You write a novel, you really love the novel, but you just can't think of a good title to go along with it. My suggestion is go and look at other forms of art. Look at paintings and galleries. Read poetry. Look at song lyrics. Do you realize that Simon & Garfunkel and the Beatles, lyrics to their songs are pure poetry, wonderful lines, wonderful ideas, come up with great expressions of emotions and feelings that might tie in to your story in some way. The novels by James Herriot, that was his pen name, All Creatures Great and Small, All Things Wise and Wonderful, All Things Bright and Beautiful, the Lord God made them all. Those are actually 4 stanzas from a poem by Bill Staines. Not bad. 1 poem and 4 titles to 4 different novels. Not a bad idea. Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath comes from the Battle Hymn of the Republic, a song. Poetry's a good place to go to. There's a wonderful poem by Alexander Pope called Ode to Solitude. I sometimes tell people it's my favorite. There's a line in there that says, "Let me steal from the world and not a stone tell where I lie." Yeah, that in itself suggests ideas for stories, other stories, but it's just beautiful. And somewhere in that poem might be a good title for your novel. Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men comes from, the title of that novel comes from a 1785 poem by Robert Burns. Husseini's novel, A Thousand Splendid Suns, comes from a 17th century poem that was an ode to the city of Kabul. The line goes, "One could not count the moons that shimmer on her roofs, or the thousand splendid suns that hide behind her walls." Wonderful. Margaret Atwood, who wrote her very splendid, very successful series of books on The Handmaid's Tale. Those titles came from the story of a ruling class of men in a biblical tale of Rachel and her handmaid. Look at history. There are different places. What I'm suggesting to you in this short video is that if you're struggling to find a title for your novel, or if you're even struggling to find a good story idea, read. Read as much as you can. Catch those lines of poetry or lyrics or whatever it might be that give an idea about the story you should tell, or maybe the story that you've already told. Those are good places to find titles, really expressive titles, titles that draw your reader in. They want to read further. How Green Was My Valley. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, look at other art. Keep reading. Look at poetry. Listen to music. Listen to lyrics. Somewhere in there, I think, you're likely to come up with, this is the best title for your novel. All right, enough of that today. Have a good day. Bye.